If you're thinking about buying a house and if you think you need help getting some down payment or need some assistance with some down payment, this video is for you. I'm here today with Raquel Rivera. She is with Homeowners First. She's been in business for over 25 years, and I've known Raquel for over 5 years. So we're gonna answer some questions in a conversational way. So Raquel, thanks for coming to this video interview.
Thank you.
And the number one question that the buyers have these days is, where can they get help for down payment, even if I have some money?
Mm-hmm.
So can you help us with that?
So yeah, that is a really big concern right now. A lot of people want to buy a house, but they're not willing to spend the money because of the economic uncertainty. So we have an opportunity where we can actually help you with your 3.5% down payment for an FHA loan. So if you've been pre-qualified and kind of put everything on the back burner because you're fearful of spending the money, getting assistance for down payment can cut your investment in half. So it is a great time to take a look at this before you decide to wait.
I see. Okay, that's great to know. Now, can you explain the difference between a conventional loan and an FHA loan? Some of them may not know what an FHA loan is, so could you just elaborate a little bit and who are qualified for these FHA loans?
So FHA loan is really a loan that gives us bigger guidelines. So getting qualified is a lot easier for our community. And again, it's another program that allows you to purchase a home with a very small down payment. And in our down payment assistance program, it actually will pay for the down payment of 3.5%. So if you're trying to keep some money in your own pocket and still buy a home, this is the perfect scenario to do that. We can also pair that up with seller closing cost credit, which we didn't have before. Now that the market has shifted, we are now seeing more people getting their closing costs covered as well by the seller credit. So we could potentially put that together. Down payment assistance covered by our assistance program and seller credit negotiated by our very own Mike here. So now more than ever, buying a house is actually easier in this economy right now. And a lot of people are not aware of that. So thank you for helping me spread the message.
Right. So that's great. So what I'm hearing is you saying is that, one, you can get a better rate and assistance with the down payment. And it's also easier with this FHA loan to qualify. So it's really advantage for the first time. Is this just for first time home buyers?
It is not actually. It's not just for first time home buyers. FHA is actually not just for first time home buyers. You could have owned a home, you could be selling a home, and you may just want to, again, save some money and use our money instead of yours.
I see.
So any buyer that is buying a primary residence can see if they're eligible for our down payment assistance program.
So it is for primary residents, not rental or investors. Okay, great. Now we're in Orange County and the prices are very high over here. So is this program just for Orange County or California, or is it a nationwide program?
It is a California product, FHA loan. So FHA is available anywhere in California. Your loan limits are subject to your FHA county loan limits. So once you message us, let us know what your county is, we'll be able to tell you what the max loan amount is.
Max loan amount is all that. Now, as far as the down payment program, are there any limits? Because in FHA, you mentioned 3.5%.
Any limits
for down payment was 3.5%, correct?
So we'll give you 3.5% to cover the minimum requirement. We'll give all of it to you. You can still apply more if you have more money as well. We can stack the down payment amounts together, no problem. But FHA's minimum investment is 3.5% of your purchase price, of which we'll cover with the assistance program.
Great. And on top of that, the seller can help you with some of that. That's negotiating with the seller.
Correct. That's
some points or some closing costs, and that's where I can help you. So it's a double advantage.
This is where we work as a team.
Exactly. Correct. Okay, cool. Now the other thing is there a certain type of buyers that look for these loans, or what kind of buyers can be looking for this loan, or if they've not thought about it, what can they think about it to get into this program? Is it buyers with no money or some money, or?
That's a really great question as well. So you do have to have some money to purchase a home. You have to have your earnest money deposit, which is a little deposit that you put into escrow to start the process. It's kind of like good faith money that you're invested into purchasing this home. You have to have some money for inspections as well. So if you are not sure how much money you need to invest in this transaction, at the time we do your pre-qualification for you, we'll set a roadmap up for you so you know how much money you're actually going to need. And then we'll put the roadmap together so when you go shopping, you can make great decisions on the home that you're buying.
Okay, great. Okay, so they do need some money to get started: inspection, property taxes, some of the title fees, escrow fees. But all of that can be negotiable, and some of that can come from the seller as well.
Correct. If the seller gives credit, some of the money can be paid for by them as well.
What about some of the buyers that we work with? Especially, I work with a lot of buyers where the family help them a little bit. I may need $10,000 and I only have $5,000. So is additional gift money allowed on top of the FHA loan?
I like your thinking, Mike. So absolutely, you can use your gift fund money from your family. Has to be a blood relative. So if your family decides they have $10,000 they'd like to give you as a wedding gift for the purchase of your home, for example, you can use that in conjunction with our 3.5% down payment assistance. And what that does is it'll help lower your payment as well.
I see. Okay. Now, should we talk about limits on home prices? Because California, the prices are different. What's in Orange County versus what's in Barstow or some Bakersfield area and South Bay area. The different prices. Are there any limits to the FHA loans? Or I'm not sure if we talked about that already.
Yeah. So the one rule of thumb that we keep in mind when we're shopping after your pre-qualification is done is making sure you stay within the county loan limit for FHA and any loan limit restrictions that may apply for our down payment assistance program. So again, this is a perfect opportunity for an FHA buyer to take advantage of the program that pays 3.5% down, and again, staying within our conforming loan limits, county loan limits.
Okay, so the limits on FHA are per county.
Per county.
Not by state or cities, but
Correct.
per county. Like Riverside may have a lower limit than Orange County.
Correct.
And Orange County may have it lower than South Bay or Los Angeles County.
Correct.
So it all depends on the county.
And that's pretty standard with any type of loan out there right
Good
now.
to know,
And so that's one of the things we help you differentiate when we do your pre-qualification for you.
Correct. Okay, good. So that's a good thing to know, because a lot of people, the first challenge a lot of buyers that have, especially the ones that I work with, is down payment.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes them a year, 2 years, 3 years to save up. But this program really helps, knowing that you can come in with 3.5% down and it does not have to be your money.
Correct.
Versus, hey, I need 20% down. That's the myth that, hey, you need 20% down, but that's not true.
That's correct.
I know the VA loan, which is the loan for veterans, you can come with 0% down. But now that you told me about this, it's pretty much I can come in with not much money down and get a 3.5% grant, like you said,
Correct.
and buy a house, even in this market. So switching gears a little bit, I talked earlier that the prices are very high, rates are very high, inflation is high. But if I'm a buyer and I'm paying $3,000, $4,000 a month rent, which I don't want to pay and all my money is gone, what would you say to them, whether to start thinking about buying now? Should you buy now or should you wait? What would be, being in the industry, what would you recommend?
So I'm always going to take a look at the situation based on long-term investment. So when you pay a rent, that's pretty much 100% interest that goes to nowhere, right? You do not get a return on that at all. But if you were purchasing a home and you're paying almost the same amount as you are renting into a mortgage, you are benefiting from equity growth. And in the long run, if you were to sell your home, you'd get that equity growth back. You can't do that when you're renting, right?
Yep.
So is it the right time to buy? We put a couple of things into play when answering that question. Is the payment affordable for you? Is all of the money accountable for your down payment and closing costs? If it is, and it makes sense and it feels good, and it keeps you around the same budget as your rent, right now rent is so high.
Right.
If it makes sense, it absolutely is the right time to buy. So I always tell everyone, get pre-qualified when you're not ready.
Right.
That way we can set the game plan up, and then we can give you to Mike, and he might find that hidden gem that happens to come out on the market, and it might check all the boxes for you and get you into a new home.
Yeah, that's a good answer to know. You know, one of the things, I work with a lot of investors, they buy commercial property and rental properties. One thing I've learned, they always take the factor of tax benefits in there. And one of the things I started telling, because I work with so many investors, is, hey, look, even though you're a primary house, this is a primary house, you will get some tax benefits. Of course, we are not accountants, so we cannot talk about tax benefits, but definitely there are some deductions. So if you're paying $4,000 a month rent versus $4,000 a month mortgage, you'll get some refunds back. So there's another distinct advantage, which is kind of hidden, but I just thought I'll mention it.
Absolutely. Check with your local CPA who does your taxes, and they'll tell you exactly how much this investment is going to save you on your taxes.
Great. And one last thing, Raquel, do you have any suggestions, not an advice, but suggestion on whether, if they're thinking about waiting, why this may be the right time to buy and get your gears going, whether you're 6 months away or 2 years away? What's one thing they can do so that they're ready in 2 years from now? What couple of advice that you could give them?
Absolutely. The one thing that you can do when you're considering purchasing a home, but not sure, or maybe think you're not ready right now, and maybe a year from now you are, is get pre-qualified now. get pre-qualified so you know what your numbers are, so you're making a well-educated decision on whether leaving all this wonderful assisted money on the table is right for you, or going ahead and taking advantage of what we have to offer you today to help you get in. We don't have these programs all the time, so this is a very important time to make sure you take advantage of the market shift, because it now is working in your favor as a buyer.
Thank you. Great advice. And Raquel, thank you very much. I appreciate you giving them some insights in buying a house. And good luck on buying a house.